A and E. Over to Gretchen's group here. Let's work with some imagery. Interesting. In Four Directions, Tan presents a strong relationship between Rich and Waverly through illustration of their house. Isn't the house a mess? Well, talk to me then. I want some quotations. Give me some support.
On page 69, it talks about how his stuff is like
And doesn't directly say that they're like living together, they're that close. She shows it through their stuff being in the same house.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that the sharing of a mess indicates the strength of the sharing of a relationship? Do you have any 68? I think I might be just on a different pagination. Yes, it's a word. You sure it's 68? That's really far off. 168 maybe? 168. Okay. Okay. Thinking I'm back in China. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Why am I reading? Why aren't your books open? Come on. Books. Come on. Thank you.
It says, it's back here. The bed was unmade, dresser drawers were hanging out with socks and ties spilling over. My mother stepped over running shoes, more of Shoshana's toys. Rich's black loafers, my scarf, a stack of white shirts just back from the cleaners. Her look was one of painful denial, reminding me of a time. But
okay, that's good. Okay, there's imagery of a mess that is a common mess. There seems to be some. I don't want to use the word stasis again, but there seems to be some equilibrium between the two of them. They've reached some point where they're fine with their common mess, and Rich doesn't complain about it. And this talks about the strength of their marriage. Okay. Or their impending marriage. Yes. Were you A or E? Where's E? Do you have something different, or are you working on a different angle? What do you got? You have a different claim? Yeah? Pass. Let's do some comparative claim analysis. And while they're doing that, Julianne, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was going to bring up that 168 also says when she was divorced, her apartment was really clean, but once
Julianne, you're absolutely correct, and you're on to something else. I want to see if this group is going there, because you've hit onto something else that's interesting. Now, right. Oh, that's a good quotation. Nice. What page was that one on? 168 also? A home full of life and love? I like that. But we'll see if we can get there, Julianne, because it's a really interesting place to go. I'd like to see what this group is doing. However, first group, you're fine with the claim that you've got. You can support that. All right. Hello. All right, there we go. In Four Directions, APTN uses imagery to portray Waverly's changing emotions. What? Oh, you want more? Okay. Careful consultation. APTN uses imagery to portray Waverly's changing views of the people in her life. In order to understand the claim, let's take a look at your support first. So what sort of quotations do you have? What imagery do you have? Where are we looking?
I think it's on like page 174 when she's talking about her baby and how at first she wanted to avoid it, but then she saw, yeah.
You're talking about the babies with their tiny fingers, tiny, tiny fingers?
And then her view kind of changed on the baby and she loved it.
I'll read the paragraph. We'll see what we can do with it. Thank God her poison didn't affect my daughter, Shoshana. I almost aborted her, though. When I found out I was pregnant, I was furious. I secretly referred to my pregnancy as my growing resentment. Then I dragged Marvin down to the clinic so he would have to suffer through this, too. It turned out we went to the wrong kind of clinic. They made us watch a film, a terrible bit of puritanical brainwash. I saw those little things, babies they called them, even at 7 weeks, and they had tiny, tiny fingers. And the film said that the baby's translucent fingers could move, and we should imagine them clinging for life, grasping for a chance, this miracle of life, if they had shown anything else except tiny fingers. So thank God they did, because Shoshana really was a miracle. She was perfect. I found every detail about her to be remarkable, especially the way she flexed and curled her fingers. From the very moment she flung her fist away from her mouth to cry, I knew my feelings for her were inviolable. Okay, it's a potent section of imagery, but you're using one particular detail about her seeing a baby to generalize about all people. Do you have other evidence about other people?
Yeah, like her previous husband, on one of them before, like she described when she was and then afterwards when she did like him.
Oh, okay, so the imagery of him changes? Good. All right, now I'm seeing your strategy. You've got a before and after. So Marvin, before, is good guy. After, we don't like him. Shoshana, I like that one. Shoshana, we don't like. That's like awe. Woo. No, not oh no, but oh, it's a baby. Yeah, I know. I should never do any sort of falsetto, but do we have all 4 bits? I saw after on Shoshana. I believe I remember before and after on Marvin. Do we have before on Shoshana? She doesn't really describe her with imagery because she hasn't seen her. So how do we deal with that? Let's take a look at Marvin's evidence. Well, we could use the absence of imagery to say something. The fact that there is no imagery could actually say something about what Tan's doing. So let's talk about Marvin. Do we have imagery evidence from Marvin on both sides, before and after? Where are you with the? He had bulging calf muscles and 146 straight black hairs on his chest. He made everyone laugh, and his own laugh was deep, sonorous, masculinely sexy. He prided himself on having favorite love positions for different days and hours of the week. All he had to whisper was Wednesday afternoon, and I'd shiver. Do you? Really? Wow, okay. Let's see, and then later on, I saw his brain had shrunk from laziness, so now that it was only good for thinking of excuses. His eyes wandered up and down the girl's legs, liked to tell big jokes, thought waxing his red sports car all afternoon was more important than taking his wife somewhere in it. We don't really have the same sort of physical description of him after that we did before. So I'm wondering if that reveals a strategy. We've got the before imagery, very potent imagery. We don't have so much after. She's just describing his behavior. We don't have the before imagery. but we have the after imagery. So what's she reserving her imagery for? For the good stuff. Now we've got a strategy. Amy Tan uses imagery to display, who are we talking about? Waverly's affection for people in her life. Make sense where I'm going with this? So you state very clearly that we don't really get the potent imagery when she doesn't like him. We don't get the potent imagery when she resents Shoshana. All we get are abstractions. It's an unwanted pregnancy, and she resents him. He makes excuses and doesn't take her out anywhere. These are abstractions, generalities. But we have specific concrete detail on imagery when she is very much in love. And the fact that she reserves the imagery for when Waverly's in love, it's kind of like saving your most potent weapon for just the right moment. She doesn't want to use imagery unless it's necessary, and it's only necessary when she's expressing love. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Then a little bit of analysis of the evidence helps us fine-tune the claim, and we're good to go. How's that?